You're watching Yahoo Finance Live. I'm Julie Hyman. We have been watching travel trends, or lack thereof, quite closely. But now that we are seeing some states reopen and Americans get more and more itchy to get out once it is safe to do so, we're trying to figure out what that might look like. Peter Greenberg is with us once again now. It's good to see you, Peter. He's the CBS News travel editor joining us from New York. With gas prices where we are, with a lot of people afraid of flying right now, you think that there are going to be an awful lot of road trips as things start to open up.
I would count on that. It's right after 9/11, the exact same thing happened. Americans are going to like tiptoe back out, and they're going to do it in their comfort zone of within 300 miles from home. You'll see a lot of RV trips with families traveling as units in their sort of self-contained quarantine mobiles. National Park campgrounds, state campgrounds are going to be full. You're going to see a lot of small towns in America being rediscovered that way, but it's going to start that way. And you mentioned the gas prices. As long as they don't spike, I mean, they will go up because of demand, but as long as they don't spike, you're going to see a lot of road trips. Right now, the average load factor of an airplane, even now, is about 17 people to a plane. That's on a good day on most flights. And that's not, the travel industry really can't discount their way back out of this. People want their security blanket and they want to be in control, and being in their own car gives them that feeling.
Okay, Peter, you're talking to a car nut here. I mean, I've got the Studebaker poster right there.
You're dating.
But I got to stop flying because I like getting to a place quickly. You just said they're not going to be able to discount their way back. In fact, won't ticket prices at some point have to start increasing, even with not selling the middle seat?
Exactly. What you're going to see with airlines and hotels is they're going to try to maintain the integrity of their rates. And where you're going to see the discounting won't be in the actual rates themselves. It'll be in the frequent stay and the frequent flyer programs, because they've got 23 trillion miles that need to be redeemed, and they want to be able to reward loyalty without excess capacity. That's the time to redeem miles or points for stays at hotels. And you'll see those eligibility levels to redeem them come down. So that's the first 3 months out of this. You're going to start seeing those deals. You will see some hotels discount, but they're not going to discount on rate. They'll give you 2-for-1 deals, or if you stay 3 nights, you'll get the 4th night free. But you're not going to see airfares going to be as low as they are right now.
Hey, Peter, what does the concept of leisure travel actually look like? So over the past few years, we've seen the extended weekend, the 3-day weekends, maybe taking an extra day off. During this pent-up time of quarantine where people do have a desire probably to take that 2-week vacation, do you anticipate that companies will have a hard time trying to figure out what vacation schedules look like as there's all this pent-up demand?
Well, here's the real problem. You can talk about a 2-week vacation. I can also talk about a 14-day quarantine. And what you're going to see when we come out of this is not a free pass. You're going to see every region, state, country preserve their borders and restrict their borders in the absence of a widespread vaccine or testing. That's what you're going to see. They're going to need a security blanket. It's going to be 3 ways, right? Business travel is going to be down because corporations are worried about letting their employees go without a guarantee that they'll be safe. The employees themselves don't want to go because they want a guarantee they're going to be safe. And countries themselves are not going to let you in unless you can prove that you're not, glowing in the dark and frothing at the mouth. So it's going to go back to sort of an immunity card that's internationally recognized as a first step before you're going to cross a border. So if you're going to take that 2-week vacation, and by the way, that also includes Hawaii, because you got to fly over a body of water to get there. So if you're going to take that 2-week vacation, chances are it's going to be in the continental U.S.
Peter, how do you kind of get people excited about a road trip again? I mean, I've personally taken a couple of road trips upstate. I'm not the type of person, though, that can stay behind the wheel for a long time without starting to doze off. So I make a lot of pit stops. How do you get people excited, outside of an RV? If you're in the car, you get a little cramped. Maybe you got to roll down the windows, keep the funk out,
What kind of car do you have?
I got a 2-door Mustang, so it's not good for traveling.
Actually, a Mustang's the best way to go. But here's the deal. Remember, we're not going to go long-haul road trips here. We're talking within 300 miles of home. 1-tank trips. Think of it that way. 1 tank to get there and back. That's how we're going to re-enter the marketplace right now. So for local hotels, Airbnbs, or just B&Bs, they're going to do quite well because people are going to want to do that. And they're going to do it in their comfort zone within about a 300-mile radius.
So, Peter, I'm curious then if we are going to see this great American road trip, as you're calling it, happening, and it's these within a day's drive trips, what big tips would you give to people, particularly because a lot of hotels, for example, are still closed. A lot of Airbnbs maybe are occupied or are not offering openings right now. So what do people need to know as they're going out and making these trips?
Well, if you're going to stay overnight, a lot of people just do one-day trips and come back. But if you're going to stay overnight, you're going to ask for certain guarantees from those hotels that they're basically practicing, great public health issues, meaning who's cleaned the room? Has the room been vacant for 24 hours before you got there, right? You want to know that. And will housekeeping be entering your room while you're there? Changing the dynamics of how we stay at hotels. The same thing to do with how you check in, the whole check-in process. How much human contact are you going to have? Are you going to open the door for yourself, or is somebody from the hotel going to open it for you? And then, this is not about whether they want to wash your towel while you're there. Are you going to even let housekeeping in the room while you're there? These are things that are going to have to be negotiated ahead of time. Not to mention what I said earlier is that the hotel themselves are going to know, have you been tested? Right? Have you been tested? Because they don't want liability. Welcome to the brave new world of waivers. You're going to have to sign a waiver for the first 6 months going into this, no matter where you go, that if you contract the disease, you can't sue them. And you might want to have them sign a waiver that, if you contract the disease, or get sick, they won't sue you. I mean, it's the lawyers are going to have a field day with this, and think about that. In the absence of widespread testing or a vaccine, it's going to be a march of waivers.
So travel might get even more stressful in some cases. A lot of stuff to think about. Peter Greenberg, thank you so much. Good to see you, CBS News travel editor. And coming up, we're going to be talking about some other perhaps innovative ways that municipalities are to manage the virus. We'll be right back.